What is going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka it's A1 Story here, back with your follow-up showcase for Summer Gojo. And obviously, we're doing the A1 showcase. And I will say this, doing the A1 showcase, there were people that are saying, oh, you had fun with Summer Yuji, you're going to have fun with Gojo. I agree to a certain extent. I am having fun with Gojo. I just don't find yellow content that fun. I'm not gonna lie, out of all of the endgame content, the yellow content is by far the most annoying. 87 being like an exclusion to that rule, I guess you could say, because who cares about 87? Like cannon fodder their boss, but like this showcase, to be honest, 84 isn't even the annoying part. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like when I'm doing these showcases and I'm showing y'all just like how much easier, I guess you could say, like floor 90 becomes, and I guess 84, right, becomes with Gojo. I'm saying this with like a very, very strong opinion because I really do hate floor 90. I used to hate 84. Y'all on the channel know, if you guys ever seen the first ever floor 84 clear I did on the channel, that was terrible, right? It was horrible. But like, I have made it my mission to sun 84 for as long as possible, so like all the annoying gimmicks and stuff about this floor don't really matter to me. All that matters is that I clear, and I just wanted to get a faster clear per awakening, because again, some people may be wondering, because they may be new to the channel, or maybe they didn't watch like the entire Summer Yuji showcase from like A0 all the way to A3, which is fair because it was a lot of videos and it was a long time like spent doing that. Basically, the reason why I do the same team over and over again per showcase is so if you were to watch every video, you can see as like the clears progress, and then you can go backwards and kind of just do open comparisons. Because if I were to do like a different team every video, or change up the rec bids, or change up the strategy, then you wouldn't really have like a 1-to-1. It'd be like, okay, like what's the difference between A0, A1, and A3? Like all in all, in a similar format. Which is why like I'm not really changing up the strategies at all in these videos, because I feel like a lot of people that make content on this game, they kind of just jump immediately to A3, and I'm like, there has to be at least somewhere on the internet where somebody's trying to make like a full-fledged comparison video as close as possible across all three major awakenings. So this is my due diligence. And my due diligence is that A0 earned me a 12-turn clear, A1 earned me an 11-turn clear. So you can imagine what A3 is going to earn me when we get to that point. But I didn't exactly explain what the SP did, which is kind of crazy. I can't believe I forgot about that. But since we're already here, right, because we don't do the kit overview during these follow-up showcases, we just kind of jump in and I explain the SP. So the SP is on Gojo's ult, and if you're wondering what it does, right, it doesn't really affect Gojo in a very stat-heavy way, because it doesn't change like the percentages of his ultimate whatsoever. What SP does is that it gives him curse energy recovery for the entire team. So 5 CE per turn, right? And I believe, let me look back into Phantom Parade at the moment as I'm live commentating, it's for 4 turns. And then on top of that, he recovers 220 ultimate gauge for himself after ulting. So basically, he has like a mini skill 2 every time he ults, which is fantastic. It makes it easier to like close in ult loops, even though it's already easy enough as is. And that 5 CE per turn for the team basically makes it so you don't have any dead turns as even a mild possibility whatsoever. But as y'all see, like we have like a fully maxed out like CE bar across like every single unit. I mean, Gojo even went over his initial CE threshold just due to how much CE we're getting per turn due to those combo ults. And then Yuji just gonna kind of clear through. But I will say this, the A1 SP, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it is good. And he becomes a CE battery for the entire team. I feel like established boxes will definitely be passing by just fine with A0. But for other teams, right, for people that have, like, I guess you could say, like, boxes on the weaker end, right, or like the middle of the road boxes, A1 could benefit a lot because that CE surplus matters so much. But you'll see that be more prevalent on floor 90, where I actually talk about that horrendous floor. So let's go talk about that. Okay, floor 90. Y'all know how much I hate this stage. Every time I play it, I'm gonna tell you how much I hate it. It like drains the life force out of me. But I will say I do make. Here's the thing. I make a mistake in every single showcase for floor 90. In like the GOJO stuff, because as I'm recording the post commentary for this, I already did the A3 showcase in like totality. I posted it in my Discord server, like all my clears and stuff. I keep making this mistake where wherever I do the combo ult with GOJO and Shoko, I don't aim for Mahito. And not aiming for Mahito makes it so he lives a little bit too long. So this clear could have 100% been like 16 turns, I would say, if I would just aim for Mahito when I combo it with Shoko and GOJO. Just that little tiny HP threshold that Shoko could have covered, we would have cleared a turn or so earlier. But I would say it's fine, because, well, unless like obviously you're chasing leaderboards, the speed at which you clear 490 really shouldn't matter to you whatsoever. All that should matter is that you just clear it in the first place, because this floor is like horrendous garbage and not fun whatsoever to play in like a competitive way or even in a casual way, I'll say that. But the clears is going to be the exact same. It's just the only change is just, I guess, the speed that we do it. Because, you know, obviously the A0 clear was 19 turns and this one will be 17. And then obviously I already did the A3 clear. I guess I just won't spoil it. If you're in the Discord, you already know. You also know my trials and tribulations. Because my goodness, dude. Like, on the A0 video, you got really lucky with like Mahito falling in love with GOJO. On like every other clear afterwards, it was like a different story almost every single time. But I will say, again, with A1, you are getting a lot of cursed energy back, which for Yuta in specific is very good, because sometimes Yuta is very allergic to critting, and because his skill 2 is 40 CE, you can quickly hit like bottom out really fast. And on top of that, like obviously you're fighting 3 different enemies at the same time, and Yuta's probably going to pop RCT, so that's even more curse energy that you're spending on a per turn basis. And you would think that Yuta's fighting, you know, Mahito, Hanami, and Jogo. He's gonna crit at some point, right? I will tell you all this. I've had plenty of runs where the only resets that had to occur is because Yaga and Yuta despise critting. It is the most painful process ever. Like, Yuta, your entire kit, not even just your entire kit, but like, dude, you have a crit passive. Can you please crit? Like, I don't want to skill 1 because that's like a dead turn, right? So you just pray that when Yuta hits 3 people at the exact same time, at least one of them will crit, right? Or the other instances where, like, you know, Jogo, Hanami, and Mahito all decide to like bludgeon Shoko to death. Like, yeah, that happens pretty often too. Pretty interesting stuff. Or just Yaga. Yaga getting hit by Idle Transfiguration. You know, Yuta getting hit by Idle Transfiguration. Everybody gets hit by Idle Transfiguration. But does GOJO just make this clear even easier? I mean, yeah. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, the extra curse energy was really cool. But, like, in all actuality, because the alt loops are so, like, tight-knit, like, the extra CE is just a nice addition to, like, the already pre-existing clear we did at A0. Again, because people will try to tell you that A1 is, like, mandatory or a necessity. But it's like, A1 is just a really nice addition. It's really it. A1 is just a very, very nice addition. But swapping my aim over to Hanami instead of just like hard targeting Jogo. And then afterwards, this is just the slow fall of Hanami. Because I'll say this: when it comes to using this GOJO, you kind of have to rely on like your DPSs to lock in way more, because unlike other teams, right? Where their support units are also fighting at the exact same time. So I guess, like, you know, for example, the blue team, like, your slot 2 on your blue team can actually do a fair bit of damage. Even your slot 1 can do a fair bit of damage. But for yellow in specific, and this, like, I guess you could say ideal team comp for GOJO, you're just 100% relying on your sub DPS or just like your third support and your main DPS to carry all the work. So if they like have a hiccup or they mess up, that's like a whole extra turn you have to spend just waiting it out. And on floor 90, I'm not a very big fan of waiting it out, you know? Mahito over here is self-buffing himself twice a turn to give himself idle transfiguration at light speed so he can one-tap like my full HP units. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But all in all, it's easy. It's easier, right? It's definitely easier. Because as I'm recording this post-commentary, like the leaderboard's updated, and like even though I already did my updated A3 like run, like I have it recorded, like I'm back on the tower leaderboards. It's just that they have the A1 GOJO clear that I did, so the 17 turn clear that you're watching, that's on the leaderboards at the moment, and not the 4. Well, I guess I'm about to spoil it, but like it's a 14 turn clear for A3. So I did say I wasn't gonna spoil it, but it was gonna slip my tongue anyway, just talking about it. So I guess we'll just spoil it, right? Because obviously it doesn't really matter the turn count. You gotta understand how we get there in the first place, and to be honest, we get there in a pretty similar manner. Yeah, I'm very indecisive over here. I was like, do I hit execute or do I just skill 2 spam because Mahito is kind of annoying? And I'm like, oh, we didn't even get a crit, how nice. But at least Mahito bullied Yuta enough to where we did get ult. And then healed Yuta. And this is where it's like, I kind of regret not aiming Shoko's combo ult onto Mahito. Because I play this floor so little, and I mean so little, like I do not spend my free time playing floor 90 at all. There is so much more fun things you could be doing. But Mahito doesn't have the 90% P tech cut, so like he kind of just takes that true damage from Shoko. And even though Shoko doesn't do that much damage in her ult, it's still damage nonetheless, and the little things add up a lot when you're doing these little speed clear variations. But yeah, like right here, if I were to aim at Mahito with Shoko, I'm gonna be so honest with you, like, you could have cleared maybe a little, like a turn or so faster. But that's your boy making a mistake. We all make mistakes around in this household. Yaga crit, and then every time I see that skill 2 crit, I feel a warm fuzzy feeling because it never crits whenever I really wanted to. I did skill 3 here, just to kind of break down Hanami's break bar a little bit more. I mean, again, that's also just another huge benefit of having GOJO on the team, is that no matter what you're really doing, you always have like that full set of P-Tech buffs roaming around 24/7. And obviously, since the CE is at a surplus, you don't really have to worry like, oh man, like I healed my team, but like now I'm wasting like buff turns because like GOJO's still buffing, but Shoko has so much CE that like, yeah, you can kind of just spend your time, you know, graciously healing everybody and then go back to buffing, and you'll still have like close to 100 cursed energy anyway, so it doesn't even matter. And then the turn afterwards is where we like completely eliminate Hanami. And I'm like, oh wow, Mahito lived. No surprise. And the Yaga hard target is crazy. I mean, in this run, I thought we were gonna like repeat the A0 showcase where like, what is it, Urame came out. I also think I probably should have, I'm not gonna lie, I probably should have Yaga aiming at Mahito as well. That also could have probably attributed to like us getting a, how do I say this, a 16 turn clear instead. But like, well, when you're grinding out floor 90 for a long time, you kind of just stop thinking about all the extra stuff. You're just like, I just want to clear really badly. And Yaga's gonna get the last hit, and that's 17 turns on 90 with A1, so we get 2-turn better run. Could have been 3. So there is a difference in terms of clear speed from A0 to A1, but it's not a substantial one by any means, right? It's just a little noticeable, right? But clearly A1 can get the job done. A0 can also get the job done. So I guess that'll just lead me to my final A1 unit review. Okay, final A1 unit review. And I will say this, there's not much to say at all. The unit gets better. He gets alt gauge, he gives CE to the team. He becomes a CE battery. And I already said in the A0 video that he already is kind of like a miniature CE battery. And if you're invested into your yellow team already, you won't really run into CE issues during your game at A0. At A1, you just have so much CE that you kind of just have nothing to do with it at all. Like, you'll just have a massive surplus of cursed energy that you'll probably never touch, but at least it's there, right? So I can imagine that because this unit has such like a wicked ability to give a lot of CE, because his main game plan is alt loops nonetheless, that there will probably be more CE drain related bosses in the future, maybe for yellow, because the main theme for yellow fights is that it's stun. Like, it's just stuns on top of stuns on top of stuns. That's kind of the main gimmick for a lot of those fights. But I can imagine a unit like GOJO, and obviously we have units like Kaido. I can imagine CE drain being introduced into the future. And I mean, Jogo is also an example on floor 90. I mean, his ultimate also does alt gauge drain and CE drain. But even then, when you're doing floor 90 clears, it's not very hard to like cut Jogo first out of the picture and then focus on Mahito and Hanami. Even though Mahito does have that annoying, idle transfiguration one shot, Jogo's burn dots and the maximum meteor alt gauge and CE drain is also just as annoying, if not more annoying. But A1 GOJO, is he a necessity, as like other members of the community has wanted to say? No, of course not. I mean, A0 is already an insane unit as is. So if you're wondering if it's like a must-have for you to chase a dupe, or if it's a must-have for you to use a uni dupe on this guy, by no means, it's not a necessity. You're fine with A0 GOJO. If you do just want to have that extra insurance of just that curse energy surplus, or if you want to get that increased alt gauge after he does alt, then by all means, go for it, but you don't need it. Support units kind of just have that benefit of the doubt in comparison to main DPS units, where that plus 25% stat increase from A0 to A1 is kind of a non-factor, especially because of the fact that GOJO is the one that's not fighting in the first place. And all in all, you're just going to be spamming skill 3, alt, skill 2 every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? And everything's just going to be all right. So A1 GOJO, I mean, it's kind of similar to like my assessment of A3 and A1 Yuji, where it's like A0 is just fine, it's pretty cracked, and then A1 is just, it's a little unnecessary, so to speak. Like, you don't exactly need it, but it's a cool addition to have. And when I get to my A3 showcase video, you're going to see my opinion go even further into just that similar regard. But yeah, that's it for me today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord server. It's in the channel bio. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. We recently hit 2.5K, so thank you for that. Be sure to sub up. But yeah, it's been Jay, aka it's already A3 story, and I will see you guys later.